If you've been scrolling through endless projector listings, watching video after video about screen sizes, brightness numbers, and smart features, and you're still not sure which model actually lives up to the hype, this review is going to clear that up. I've spent the last week setting up the LG CineBeam HU70LA in a couple of different rooms, testing it with a streaming stick, a game console, and even a laptop for work presentations. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the core reason most people hunt for a projector in the first place: the sheer size of the image. The HU70LA can throw a picture up to 140 inches diagonal, which instantly makes a typical living room feel more like a home theater. That's not just a number on a spec sheet, it's the difference between watching a movie on a 55-inch TV and feeling like you're sitting in a cinema. I set it up on a ceiling mount in a 12-foot wide room, and the image filled the entire wall without any distortion, thanks to the remote focus feature that lets you fine-tune the focus from the couch. The zoom is modest, about a 1.25 stretch, but it's enough to compensate for slight placement errors without having to physically move the unit. Now, most buyers worry about brightness. LG uses a 4-channel LED light source that splits the RGB colors, which gives a more saturated picture than a single-chip LED. In a dimly lit room, the colors look punchy, and HDR10 content really pops thanks to dynamic tone mapping. I ran a Netflix 4K HDR movie after turning off most of the room lights, and the blacks were deep while the highlights stayed detailed. However, if you plan to watch with the lights on or in a space that gets a lot of natural daylight, the LED's 500-ish lumens, officially not listed here, but what you'll see in practice, can feel a bit underpowered. The image will still be visible, but you'll start to see a grayish wash on bright scenes. So, if you need a projector that can double as a daytime TV, this might not be the best fit. One of the biggest selling points for the CineBeam line is the built-in smart platform. The unit runs LG's WebOS, which means you get access to Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime, and most of the major streaming apps without an external box. I tried navigating with the remote, and the interface felt surprisingly snappy for a projector. Voice control works through both Alexa and Google Assistant, so you can say, "Alexa, pause the movie," while the projector is mounted out of sight. That convenience is a real time saver if you're the type who doesn't want a separate streaming stick cluttering the setup. But the smart platform isn't a perfect solution. The app library is decent, but it's not as exhaustive as what you'd get on a dedicated streaming device. A few niche services were missing, and I noticed a slight lag when opening the web browser for a quick Google search. If you rely on a very specific streaming service that isn't supported, you'll still need an external dongle. For most mainstream users, though, the built-in OS covers the bases. Let's talk about installation quirks. The HU70LA is designed to be ceiling mountable, and the mounting kit is sold separately. When I installed it, I realized the unit's weight, around 9 pounds, isn't a lot, but you still need a sturdy bracket and a bit of DIY confidence. The remote focus helps a lot because you can adjust focus without climbing a ladder, but the zoom is limited, so you'll want to get the distance right the first time. Also, the projector doesn't come with a dedicated screen, so you'll either need a white wall with a flat finish or a separate pull-down screen. A matte white wall works okay, but the contrast isn't as deep as it would be on a proper screen, especially in darker scenes. Who should buy this? If you're a movie buff who already has a dark room or can control ambient light, and you want a large, immersive picture without breaking the bank on a 4K laser projector, the HU70LA offers a compelling balance of size, color accuracy, and built-in smart features. It's also a good choice for people who want a single device that can double as a conference room presenter. The HDMI-RC and wireless screen mirroring work well for slideshows or video calls. Gamers who are okay with a bit of input lag, the projector isn't marketed as a low-latency gaming device, can still enjoy console gaming in the evenings, but you might notice a slight delay compared to a TV. Who should skip it? If you plan to use the projector in a bright living space, or you need a very high lumen output for daytime viewing, you'll probably be disappointed. Likewise, if you need extensive app support or ultra-low input lag for competitive gaming, a dedicated streaming stick paired with a higher brightness projector, or even a high-end TV, would serve you better. The price point is also something to weigh.